Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. Apologies for not having a video yesterday. I actually had recorded a first impressions live commentary with this Tier 7 Pan American ship. And do I know how to pronounce it? Not in the slightest. In my first impressions video, I mean, this is going to be kind of a second impressions, but more of the first impressions for the purposes of this video, is that I accidentally deleted the video in my OBS folder when I was doing some file cleanup on Sunday. So this was the next battle I played, and I didn't do any live commentary. I just recorded the battle while playing. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on this Tier 7 Pan American light cruiser. In the original video that I accidentally deleted, I just joked, and when I look at the second name, I just want to call it the Bologna. But I know for my American audience that knows how to pronounce this ship, I probably just triggered you. I don't know. I hope not. So you can see that we are top tier in this battle. The previous game I had, original, was a very bad battle. It didn't go really well for my team. Weren't really able to do much. One of the things I had to say about these ships, from the Tier 5, the Tier 6, I'm more impressed with the Tier 5 and Tier 6 than I am with this ship. Kind of my conclusion with the first impressions of this ship is that it's okay. I think the Tier 5 and 6 were great, but this one's just okay. It's not bad, it's not great, it's just okay. Because when I was kind of commenting in this video, like, I kind of wanted to be a Fiji with smoke to feel like I can get more out of this, and we have a Fiji on our team on a 10 line, and he's going to potato pretty hard. Because these ships are similar, except for the healing capability. Torpedoes, I think, are slightly different. If you actually get more, I think, with the Fiji. And then, of course, you had the combat instructions. So, overall, one of the strengths of this ship is definitely the heal. The previous battle, I was playing against, I think it was Tier 7s and 6s. I took 50,000 damage and got a dreadnought out of the battle. I was the last one alive and taking on a Nuremberg after getting, I think, 2 kills. And so it really felt like I was having to try to pick on the weaker health targets overall. So let's just talk a little bit more about this ship. So the depth charge airstrike is, as you saw that square a little bit ago, it's insanely small square. So don't really expect to be able to be accurate with your depth charges because it's such a small square, and you're not really likely to do any damage to a submarine unless the submarine is stationary, as we lose the Fiji. And we've already lost another cruiser as well. On this new map, so you can see this new map in action. I think it's tier, I don't know if it's tier 7 through 9 or something is, or no, we have 5s here, so maybe it's 5 through 9, I think, actually. One of the things that's not so great about this ship is the firing angles. So you have to show, in a light cruiser, you have to show a lot of side, whether you're firing forward or behind, like kiting. Like, I'm gonna have to be doing most of this battle. As you can see, the enemy team's pretty strong on this flank. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 when the Colorado comes over here a little bit closer. So this isn't the type of battle where we want to be pushing in. We want to be ready to kite away. Here, I decided to go ahead and open up, get this Bridoni out of the game, but he has pretty low health, and we've only done 7,000 damage. I think one of the things that he's about to go down, like, because you can't smoke, or you can't smoke up, you know, and you can be able to farm a little more damage easily that way, as our Iron Duke is kind of just rushing in and doesn't need to, because of lack of map awareness. Is that I really found myself in playing the ship wishing I had HE just to farm more damage that way and setting fires, because there's no stopping capability with this ship. I mean, if an enemy team wants to push, they can just push you, because you're light cruiser with only armor piercing, and when ships are bow in, you know, you're not going to be able to do a lot of damage with the armor piercing. Kind of reminds you, you know, if you're playing the British light cruiser line, unless they really go broadside, you begin to do more like decent damage. So we're going to be dealing a lot with this Gigantus now, and we want to keep him a little bit more at range. One, we want to stay outside of the secondaries, and Gigantus now accuracy. So if we keep our range, it works really well. And that you want to, we want to have the combat instructions. Our torpedoes only 8-kilometer range torpedoes, so that is it's okay. I mean, you can see when we just fired there, we only get 3. So I keep firing torpedoes just in case, you know, as I'm kiting away, maybe some enemy ships push into it. They seem to have a decent speed for Tier 7 in my opinion. But we really want to activate the combat instructions if possible, but we've coasted too far up where we've begun to hit this island. And then you begin to lose a lot of that progress very rapidly, as you're going to see when we're not able to get any hits, how quickly it begins to decrease on this. I mean, look how fast the combat instruction goes down. So you really want to build at least at some point, hopefully maybe a little more earlier in the battle, get your combat instructions built up, because of how long a heal takes to come off of cooldown. That can be quite troublesome. So we're still just kind of taking our time here. I'm kind of forced in these situations that I need to engage. We're going to be playing with our throttle a lot because you don't have smoke. Yeah, for the force slot, well, I don't actually remember now. I have to look. I went over the upgrades when I actually did the live commentary, but now I don't remember. Having the propulsion just helps because you're going to be doing a lot of slowing down, speeding up. I'm trying to help avoid some of that incoming fire. Now I'm hoping here I can get the combat instructions built up if possible. One of the weaknesses too, when you only have this AP, when you have destroyers pushing in, you can get a lot of ricochets and not so much meaningful damage. I was fighting a Nelson in the previous battle, and I had so many non-pins and ricochets on him. It was rather ridiculous. Also because, you know, Nelson has all of his turrets up front, so it was really hard to get any meaningful damage in that regard. So we should be able to get our combat instructions filled up here. Yeah, indeed we do. So we'll see once I have to use a heal, which I'm not worried about using the heal yet, how long actually it is for the cooldown time if you don't have the combat instructions activated. So their team is kind of bogged down here on the 8-9 line. We're still having to be very mindful. One of the things I talk about with this ship is that you really need to be mindful of your broadside, and you have to show restraint whether you're in this kiting away, because you see how much side I'm having to show here, or you're pushing in. When you have to push in, your rear turret firing angle is really bad. I think it's actually worse than the kiting away angle. So we really have to be mindful to not give in just to get some extra damage off. In the last game, I mean, it was complete washout, but we did do, I think it was 70k damage. So don't expect with this ship to be able to do a lot of damage. Maybe if you're divisioned up with a buddy, utilizing his smoke, you know, and we're only like 6 kilometers with this depth charge strike, don't expect to be able to do a lot of damage here. So I think here I end up making a mistake. I have to remember. I think I go ahead, yeah, I'll wipe it off here, act like I accelerate, and then it goes away. I can't remember if it was, I feel like it was, I don't know if there's this battle, maybe it was the other battle in the submarine. We'll see. Because, you know, with how quickly subs can, you know, now it does more torpedoes. So I think we actually take some decent damage from this sub here in this regard. So we'll just have to watch, and I'll have to critique myself here. So our friendly destroyer decided to rush the sub with a Farragut sitting over there, and also Gigantus now is not too far away, so I don't really know how he's going to fancy in this regard. You actually see we've used our heal. It's over I think it's over 2.5 minutes initially. Yeah, I think did we avoid this? Yeah, we avoid this. over 2 minutes. So you really need the combat instructions if you want to be able to get another heal off really quickly. So that's definitely a downside to this ship as a whole. If you're just not able to do much here, this battle, it's kind of frustrating with this ship because it just feels like we're on the back foot the entire battle, and not being able to do, it doesn't really feel like we're able to be very meaningful help with our team. Okay, so I think it was the last battle I ate a lot of damage from a submarine. I juked wrong. So we have to kind of keep kiting, and in this situation, as I said, there's nothing you can do to stop an enemy push. You just have to kite and just slowly chip away at them and hope your team, like in this game, they won the opposing flank. So that's great. Here I can open up. Gneisenau's far away, and there's a smoke screen between me and the Giulio Cesare. So that means I can just freely farm him here, and we can use combat instructions when we feel the need to. So I need to be conscious about when this, either the Gneisenau or the Giulio Cesare detects us again, and then probably utilize the combat instructions to get another heal off, because you see we can heal back a good portion of damage here. So really these light cruiser line, or the tier 7, this feels like you can just take a lot of damage. Here we use combat instructions, and you can see we get our heal back up really quick. You're just kind of this punching bag, and you don't really pose any threats, not even against subs. I mean, having the hydroacoustic search is nice, but it's just a short range, 3 kilometers for ships, 3 kilometers for torpedoes, and you don't really feel like you can do much with your guns. And even though we're top tier against tier 5s, like, we've just not been able to do a lot. And that's mainly due to how strong the enemy team's been on this flank. So yeah, 2 minutes 51 seconds for the repair party. So that's definitely not good. So you want to be able to get enough hits to get your combat instructions built back up, so you have it on hand when you need it to. Otherwise, you can be rather screwed. And then to build, if, like, let's say you're low on health and you really need your heal, like, either you have to stay dark the entire almost 3 minutes, or you have to risk opening up in order to build up your combat instructions. So that's definitely a downside, especially with this ship. This is only against tier 7s and 5s. If I had to play this ship against tier 9s, like, I would say this ship's terrible to play against tier 8s and tier 9s, to be honest. And I heard a lot of people saying, like, as you go up the line, it gets worse, and I definitely agree with that. I think the 5 and 6 are really good, but the 7 has been really disappointing so far, in my opinion. So it's a ship, this isn't a carry ship, it's a ship that relies on your team to do well in order to do decently in it, or just having really bad team that you can position and farm a lot of damage out of. Yeah, that's really all I can say in that regard. Because Gneisenau is getting so low, we want to go ahead and finish him off, and it gets a little more damage here on us. And then it's just this New Orleans, and I can't remember, I think it's a Pan-Asian cruiser that's up there on sea cap. So we're kind of firing at range right now, so we want to be able to get back up closer to this New Orleans, as our T-20 is going to go down to that. Other things I want to mention with this ship, not really much of anything. Kind of, it's what you see is what you get. So I think if this ship had smoke, it would be better, because you wouldn't have to kind of run at the longer range of your main battery firing range the entire battle, in order to hope to do meaningful damage. So yeah, so I mean, I definitely would prefer playing Fiji over this ship for sure. So we're going to see how it goes. I'll have a tier 8 impressions up soon, since I also think I have that ship as well now. But overall, this ship's just okay. Not really impressed with it. This New Orleans doesn't want to fight, so he's just going to run as I'm firing here to try to get him to open up on me, hoping to get a little bit more damage. So we took 1 million potential damage, and I think we took 38,000, I think, total damage this game. You can see in post-battle results. So you're kind of a frustrating light cruiser to kill. And your heal potential, I think, is kind of what's the strongest about this Tier 7 ship. Otherwise, I think it's a bit of a disappointing ship to play overall. So we're going to go with post-battle results, and 50,000 damage, just the 2 kills. I mean, they were low health targets. We did farm the Gigantus now. We're shooting him a lot overall. Yeah, make sure to play this ship because you can unlock your permanent economic bonus for the Tier 8, I believe it is. And we're letting our score middle of the team here with 1,276 base experience. And there's the last game that I had the Dreadnought on. So this is a Dreadnought capable Tier 7 light cruiser. Gigantus now 29,000 damage. Oh, we took damage received was 36,000 damage, and that's as high as I was thinking. We did do some spotting, 15,900. It kind of seems odd to do that in a light cruiser, but you know, we didn't have many people with us on our flank overall, so we were able to get some of that spotting damage in. So yeah, so that's really gonna wrap this video up. It's an okay ship. If you have to play against Tier 8s and Tier 9s, God help you. But this ship's okay, but would be disappointing if you get bottom tiered and versus Tier 8s and 9s. So let me know your thoughts on this ship in the comments below, how you think over it, if you agree with me or maybe you disagree. But if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.